Welcome Catanians to the second Catan Console Edition roadmap. Can you believe that it's been 3 months since our last roadmap, and lots has happened and lots is yet to happen. If you missed our first roadmap back in April, you can catch up on that by either reading the article on our website or clicking the link in the description below and watching the video. So as a reminder, the purpose of the roadmap is to keep you all up to date and discuss all things the future of Catan Console Edition. And it's broken into 3 chapters. Next Turn is content we expect to release in the next 3 months. On the Horizon is content we're actively developing and will likely come 3 to 6 months from now. And Longest Road. And Longest Road is content that is in the early planning stages of development that will likely come 6+ months from now. As always, everything that we are about to discuss is subject to change and may end up coming later, maybe sometimes earlier than expected. This is going to be a big one and a fun one, as we are literally moments away from talking about our first big expansion for Catan Console Edition. So without further ado, let's roll on into it. Next Turn. Next Turn is content we are expecting to release in the next 3 months. So, a few days ago, we announced the release date for our first expansion, Catan Console Edition, The Helpers, which is coming to Xbox and PlayStation consoles on July 20th. Alongside that, we also announced a Season Pass, which will be released the same day on July 20th. The Helpers expansion, if you don't already know, adds an additional layer of strategy and fun to the base game of Catan by introducing 12 characters known as Helpers. Each helper brings their own special skills to give players a tactical advantage. The rules and conditions of victory remain the same as it is in the base game, but the way to get there is just a little bit more interesting. So it probably goes without saying, but you'll need to own the base game of Catan Console Edition to be able to enjoy and play the Helpers expansion. You can either buy the Helpers as a standalone piece of content to add on to your existing game, or if you are new to Catan and you'd like to own both, you can buy the Super Deluxe version of the game, which also includes the 5 championship maps. Or if you do already own Catan Console Edition, we have an all new way for you to enjoy a whole wealth of content that is coming to the game via the Season Pass. Now, what is the Season Pass? I hear you calling. The Season Pass is a way for you to gain instant access to a whole wealth of new content coming to Catan Console Edition for one upfront discounted cost. So when you purchase the Season Pass, you'll instantly get access to the Helpers, plus 3 seasonal cosmetic packs and our first big expansion. We'll go into that in a bit more detail later. So the 3 seasonal cosmetic packs to look forward to are Reap and Sow, which is a fall content pack, Ice and Snow, which is a winter-themed content pack, and finally, Bloom and Grow, which is our spring content pack. All 3 of these content packs will include various visual changes to the board, new dice skins, hex frames, new playable characters, a special robber, and a bunch more. To round off the Season Pass, you will also get automatic access to our first big expansion for Catan Console Edition, which will be Cities and Knights. For more information on the Helpers and the Season Pass, feel free to go check out the article, which is linked in the description below. So the first content pack coming after the release of Helpers is Reap and Sow. You can expect the joys of fall or autumn if you're anywhere else in the world, and the spookiest of seasons with Halloween-inspired content. We'll provide loads more details on exactly what to expect from this first content pack in the coming months. On the Horizon. On the Horizon is content we're actively developing and will likely come 3 to 6 months from now. Nintendo Switch. In our previous roadmap, we announced that Catan Console Edition is in fact coming to Nintendo Switch. And if you're only just now finding that out, woohoo! Exciting, right? So the development of the Nintendo Switch version of Catan Console Edition is going very well, and we can't wait to welcome all of you Switch players to our lovely little island. It's a little early right now for us to be able to actually show you anything from the game, but we are busy working on optimizing it for the console. Keep an eye on our social channels at DTG Board Games for updates, but what we can tell you is that the Nintendo Switch version of Catan Console Edition will be cross-platform, so you'll be able to play with your friends and family regardless of whether they own a Switch, an Xbox, or a PlayStation. Ice and Snow content pack. This will be celebrating the most magical time of the year. All the details of what to expect from this pack will be revealed closer to the time. But pack a coat, it's going to get nippy. 5 to 6 player extension. In the last roadmap, we announced that the 5 to 6 player extension is coming to Catan Console Edition. It previously featured in the next turn section of the roadmap, whereas as you can see, in this roadmap, it is now in the on the horizon section. We've moved this back to give the team a little bit more time. The 5 to 6 player extension will also be a free update that expands the island of Catan with an additional 11 terrain hexes. Fundamentally, the core mechanics of the game will remain the same, with the key difference being that there are always 2 players participating in a turn after another. It's also compatible with the core game of Catan, the helpers, and cities and knights. Longest Road. Longest Road is content that we're in the early stages of development that will likely be coming in 6 months plus from now. Bloom and Grow is the third and final content pack that will be with us around New Year as the ground is thawing and nature springs back to life. We'll have more details on what will be included in the spring content pack in the future. Cities and Knights. The Barbarians are on their way, but thankfully we've got Knights. Cities and Knights is coming to Catan Console Edition. We've been listening to you, our resident Catanians, on what it is you'd like to see us bring to the game next, and Cities and Knights is constantly mentioned among the community, so we're making it. For those of you who are perhaps new to Cities and Knights, Barbarians are heading for Catan, and you need to prepare your defences by building knights. The better prepared you are, the more likely you'll avoid being targeted by the barbarian army. To activate your knights, you'll need plenty of grain, so ensuring a good early game supply of grain is going to be really important. Cities and Knights provides a drastically new way to experience Catan. Most people we've spoken to says it's like playing an entirely different game. There's lots of new mechanics and aspects of the game to think about, and working as a team to defend Catan while also focusing on your own game, playing to win, is a delicate balancing act. We'll be revealing loads more details on Cities and Knights in the months to come, but there's lots to look forward to. To finish up this roadmap, we want to spend a few minutes talking about some quality of life improvements we're currently focusing on, starting with disconnected by server logic. We've seen all your comments and messages, and we are aware of the issue that seems to occur when trying to join an online game. The team is looking into it and will provide an update when we can. Secondly, second screen. We are aware that there are some issues still affecting second screen. We are working towards a solution, and as said before, we'll provide an update when we can. The third thing we're focusing on at the moment is Xbox controller issues. We've been investigating this for a while. We are making good progress with this, and we'll provide you with more news as soon as we can. All right, that is a wrap, folks. Thank you for watching. We hope you are as excited about the future of Catan Console Edition as we are. If you haven't already, be sure to drop a follow on our social channels at DTG Board Games so you can stay up to date with all the new content coming this way, updates, improvements, content, all that good stuff. But for now, though, see you down the road, Catanians.